What's up, guys? This is Teddy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video, we're going to be talking about strings in Java. And strings are at the very surface level, and we're going to deep dive on this. So, don't get too comfortable. A string is just a representation of letters in words. So if I were to type Teddy is cool, this would be a string in Java. And strings, they're just exactly what they look like. They're representative of letters, words, and different characters put together to form words. But where people get mixed up, and this is really important, this isn't just some type of nerd, technical jargon that I'm trying to impress you with. It's really important that you know the difference between a char and a string. So a char is a fundamental data type. It is actually a primitive data type denoted by one letter within single quotes. Pay attention to that single quotes part right here. The biggest difference between a string and a char is going to be these double quotes, and that at the surface level is what is going to be the biggest difference. A string, if you notice, has double quotes on it, and there's more than one lettering in it. A char can only be one letter or one Unicode byte, and a string is actually composed of chars. So each letter, if you look at it here, so H is actually a char, a E is actually a char, an L is actually a char, so on and so on. And a string is actually an array of chars underneath the hood. And that's very important because you need to know that a char is a primitive and a string is a reference type. And that is something that you could be asked in an interview setting. That is a type of thing that you need to know, because not knowing that could possibly make you look really, really stupid one day if you don't know what that is. And how do I know that? Because I experienced that firsthand. When I first started programming, believe it or not, I was a professional software developer that did not know that. And that not knowing that really came and bit me on the ass many times. So if you're still not a professional developer yet, that's perfectly fine, but just realize that you just got a one-up on somebody who's like a professional developer. And as you can see, the bar to become a professional software developer still in 2022 is so low. So a little bit of inspiration there. But you need to know that whenever we have strings, there are certain words that we can tack onto this. So if we wanted to, we could just tack this on just like this. We don't even have to assign this hello, goodbye string to a variable. We could just take this fancy little method that we have here, slam it on here, and if we do this, it is going to tell us the length of the chars, or the length of the amount of chars that are actually within this string. And you may be wondering, well, Teddy, why would we need this? You would need this a lot, and right now, don't worry so much about it. Let's just talk about what this length really means, because you're going to see it a lot every single day as a software developer. So length, let's just say we have a string. Remember, we've got our double quotes here. This is just a graphical representation, and let's see how long the length is. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the length of this Teddy string, which is my name, is going to equal 5. So if you tack this on to here, for instance, and ran this, it's going to give you that length of 5. And another important aspect is that even though it is an array, this is not zero index based. So if you, for some reason, thought, well, maybe since this is an array, I need to count it by 0, an array is counted or indexed by 0, this is in fact wrong. And this is not something that you want to do. Do not do this. It is indexed based on 1, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. So that's the length, relatively self-explanatory. Let's talk about substring. So you guys are Java devs, and I'm assuming eventually you're going to have to start crushing those algorithms, and you're going to have to start learning data structures and algorithms, and substring is going to come in very handy because that's how you're going to search in array. You're going to be searching in strings a lot, and same principle applies. So if I go into here and I type in, I'm going to choose different color here, excuse me, and you go in here, you add TEDDY, you put your name in there, you put anything in there that you want to, you slam this substring on it, and you run this function, you hit the green button in the compiler. What is going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is that it's going to count these two numbers, and it's going to count in substring or subdivide or break apart this string so that you're not going to get the whole entire string when it actually returns. And how does it actually count? The first is how many is going, or how many is actually being counted at the start, and the 4 is going to be how many are at the end. And what you may be thinking, like, well, Teddy, that makes no sense. What the hell does that even mean? What it means is that it's going to start right here, and it's going to end right here. And the actual letters that are going to be returned are these 2 Ds. It makes, it makes pretty good sense. But where most people get really confused is that, well, it's a 4 right here. Well, why aren't you counting the 4? Because the 4 is not included. Just remember that whenever this is I think it's like exclusionary or something. It's some kind of really fancy word, but it basically means that the 4 is not going to be counted, and it's going to go 1 down. And these are the actual numbers that are or letters that are actually going to be returned. It's not going to return the 4 simply because that's the way people who designed the language decided to do it, and there could be a certain reason why, but I don't really think that that is the case. So the last one, and this is more of, I'm trying to save you from yourself when you start working, because I did this right here, and there's certain things in your programming career, you're just going to make a mistake and you're never going to live it down. But this is a mistake that I made that I just swear, like on my first job, like I just never lived it down, and people were almost like mad at me for like a really long time because I didn't know this. So please pay attention to this. Do not do this right here. If you are comparing an A, or if you're searching into some type of variable and you're saying A is equal to Teddy, and you're doing an equal sign in this if statement just like this, bad. Do not do that. You are going to look really stupid, and people are going to be mean to you about it. So do not do that. You want to use this equals right here, and that's how you want to search for equality within strings. Now you could do this, and sometimes it does work, but you're playing Russian roulette, and you're spinning the barrel, because one day that's not going to work, and you're going to cause like a really bad bug in your program, and you're not going to have a good time, or you're going to push something into dev, and your boss or whoever is going to look at it, and they're going to have a freaking cow, and they're going to be a little bitch about it for like the rest of your time working there. So pay attention to this part, and whenever you're searching for equality within strings, just remember, do not do double equality like that. Search for equals just like this, and you will have a really good time. So let's go ahead, let's hop into IntelliJ, and let's actually put fingers to the keyboard, and let's practice a little bit. Okay, so we're in Visual Studio. Now let's create a funny string so that we can have a way to test out some of these things that we've talked about. And first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sentence that says 3 baby beavers 3 baby beavers built a beaver dam. And that's going to be our word. Let's go ahead and let's test out the equals. So SOUT, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to check the length. And this is important because this will show you how the actual length is counted. So we'll go here. So there are 33 characters, including the white space, within this string right here. And we can tell because we ran this method on the string. Simple enough, but let's go ahead and let's try out. I'm going to go ahead and comment that out. You can leave it if you want to. It doesn't matter. And what I am going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take this same exact string and let's go ahead and use our substring method and let's see if we can't separate out the baby part. And what I usually do is I just go in here and I try to get a rough estimate. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll go 7 here and we have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go 10. And I just eyeball it and then I trim them as needed to try to get out the lettering. So I'm going to go here and we've got baby. So we're going to go 6 and looks like we've got, so it looks like we've got what I think is going to be the, okay. So that is the way that you do it. Just eyeball it and choose a number that you think might look correctly and increment and decrement the numbers as needed so that you can extract out that substring. So let's choose a simpler example. This is way too long to check in terms of the actual equals method. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make another string up here and I'm going to give it my name and I'm going to do an if statement. So if a dot equals Teddy, just like that, then I'm going to go down and then I'm going to go SOUT, and I'm going to say this string is equal to Teddy. And then I'm going to have an else here, and if it is not, I'm going to go SOUT, this string is not equal to Teddy. And I'm going to go ahead, let's run this and let's see what happens. So I'm going to go down here. This string is equal to Teddy. And then what if I changed it? What if this is equal to capital Beaver? We'll see what will happen. And it's going to say this string is not equal to Teddy. That is how you actually check an if statement for a string. And that is going to be our video for today. Anyways, hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching.